So I was just sitting here, and this is a really, really funny story. But you see that tree right there? Right, and I'm going to compare this to money and the excess importance that we have on it. Because I was just sitting here, and right, take this for example, whatever you're sitting there doing right at this very, very second. And the reason that I bring it up is because that tree, I asked myself, if I removed that tree right now, would I still be sitting here and still feel good? Would I still be sitting here and actually feel like the beauty of life? And the reason that I say this is because whatever's in your situation right now, if you've got a cup, if you've got a pen, if you've got a book, it doesn't actually matter what it is, right? And I asked myself, if I removed that, would I still be fulfilled? Would I still be grateful? And would I still be happy with who I am right now in the scenario that I'm sitting in? All right, when you start to ask yourself these questions and start to think about it really, I asked myself, if I removed it, would I be? And the honest answer was yes. And the reason that I bring this up is because if you are putting amount of excess importance on money, right, for example, do you truly need it right now in the scenario that you're sitting in right now to be happy, to be grateful, to be fulfilled? And the honest answer is probably no. Do you need it right now in this very second to be happy, to be grateful, to be fulfilled? So why do we put so much excess importance on it? Why do we spend all of our time thinking about it, thinking about bills, stressing about it, thinking about what we've got to pay for, what we're going to do, all these sorts of things? Why do we put excess importance on it? When in its truest form, if you took it away from you right now, just like I'd take that tree away, just like you'd take that pen or that cup or whatever is sitting in your environment right now, are you truly happy on the inside? Are you truly fulfilled on the inside? Are you truly grateful for the life that you have right now on the inside if you took it away from you right now? And if the honest answer is yes, really dive deep and think about that and really understand in your head, okay, do I really need it for majority of things that I do throughout the day? The honest answer is probably no. Sure, we've got to eat. Sure, we've got to pay power, things like that. We've got to pay for somewhere to live. But for 95% of the day, do you actually need money to be alive? Do you need to place so much importance on it? Do you actually need to place so much importance on it? And if the answer is no, if you're spending 90 to 95% of your day with the answer of being no, do you need it right now in that very moment? Then why are you spending so much time thinking about it? Why are you spending so much time worrying about it? Because if 90 to 95% of your day, it is not required, it is not needed, then why do you spend all your time, energy, and attention thinking about it? Thinking about how you're going to get it? Did you think about how that tree was going to get there? Did you think about how this cup was going to get there? No, you just knew it was going to be there. And it's the exact same thing with money. It's the exact same thing with having an abundance mindset. It's the exact same thing as that. You just know it's there. You just know you've got it, right? You don't need to spend so much time, energy, and attention stressing, anxious, worried about money. When in its truest form, of course, you need this cup to fill it up with water. We need water, things like that. Of course you need money to eat. Of course you need money to pay some bills, right? But when you come from the point of view of spending 90 to 95% of your hours of your waking time thinking about like, how am I going to pay these bills, stressing, anxious, when most of the time you don't need to. You don't need to. When the bill comes in, just pay it, forget about it, right? It's the exact same thing. You don't need to think about money. You don't need to stress. You don't need to be anxious. You don't need to be worried all of the time. Because when you start living from the idea, from the fact that money is no more important than anything else, we just create this idea that it is important in our own mind. It is no more important than anything else. You're just creating this delusion in your head. And when you really start to dive deep and really start to think about it, when you really start to spend time on yourself instead of worrying about it, instead of thinking about it, instead of thinking about what you're going to do next, what you're stressing about next, if you constantly just keep thinking about that, you've got no time to think about yourself, to think about how you can get better, how you can create more value out of yourself, because at the end of the day, you're more important. And that's what people don't understand. And what I didn't understand for a long fucking time is that you're more important than money. Why? Because God is within you and God is infinite, right? So you already have infinite within you. You already have infinite money from within you, right? So what I'm trying to say is that you're putting importance on something that's out there that we created as humans when you already have everything within you, but you aren't spending any time on yourself. You aren't spending any time understanding who you are, what you actually truly want out of this world. You're too worried about what's happening out there. You're too worried about what's going on out there, when if you just dive deep on the internal state, on the internal being, through meditation, right, through spending time reading, through spending time being grateful for what you have right now, and being happy with who you are. And I ask you this, are you happy with who you are right now? Are you happy with everything that you've got right now? When you look at yourself in the mirror, when you know that you've spent hours and hours and hours at work working for someone else, are you happy with who you truly are on the inside? Are you kind? Are you generous? Are you happy with who you are on the inside? Because if you aren't, then the outside is only going to reflect that. If you're stressed, if you're anxious, if you're tired, if you're angry, if you're upset, the outside, the external world is going to reflect that. Right now, I see so much beauty out there. But a lot of people, they'll see the dark clouds. But that's all just a perception. That's all a perception. You can find beauty within the darkness as well, the quote-unquote darkness. But the point being is that if you aren't happy internally, if you aren't grateful for the blessings that you have, for who you are right now, you're not ever going to be grateful. And that's why you need to work on the inside, and then the external will show that, because the world is just a reflection of who you are. Of who you are. That's it. That is literally it. That's why if you get stressed or anxious or angry or something, whatever, and you like drop a pen, then it just doubles and triples. The world is reflecting what you're feeling in that very moment, right? And the one thing that I will say is that when you go to change, when you go to become someone new, to be grateful, to be happy, to be fulfilled, the world will reflect it, but it will be delayed. It will take time. It will be difficult, right? Because you have to smile, and the world isn't going to smile back at you instantly. But when you truly come to understand that reality will only reflect back at you with a smile, when you truly smile on the inside at yourself, when you don't need it to reflect back at you, that's when everything will change. That's when reality will change. So you have to live from the end. You have to live like the person who you want to become. But you can't just want to become them. You actually have to be them, right? So you have to know internally, that you are the cause and the world is the effect. That out there is only reflecting back at what you're feeling internally. You are the cause and it is the effect, right? You understand that? I bloody hope so. Basically, what I'm saying is that tree is no more important than money. If you took that away from me right now, if you took all the money I had away from me right now, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You're spending 90 to 95% of your day in a state where you don't need money. So why are you stressing about it all the time? Why are you anxious about it all the time? Why are you worried about it all the time? Life's beautiful, but only if you're beautiful on the inside. Only if you see the world as beautiful. Because you can find light in the darkness. You can always find something to be grateful for in the moment. But you choose to be stressed, you choose to be anxious, you choose to be worried, you choose to be angry, you choose to be frustrated. You choose the life that you're living right now. And it took me a long dang time to understand that. But after hours and hours and hours of meditation, I got there. And life is so much damn better when you see the beauty in it. But only because you know that you're the one creating it. So I hope this helps.